Hi, everybody. This is Shane R. Monroe. You may remember me from such podcasts as Retro Gaming Radio, Dual Screen Radio, Passenger Seat Radio. I'm like Steven Seagal. I like things with three names, three-word titles. Anyway, I thought I would share with you. I decided to sit back and kind of reminisce a little bit about the Amiga CD32, and I thought I'd take you along with me. So let's take a look. We're going to be using Amiga Forever. This is a fully legal but not free means of emulating Commodore Amiga computers, including the CD32. So once you install the package and everything, I'm just going to go in here and edit a couple of things. I've already done it, but I'll show you where they are. First of all, I turn on some fast memory. Some of the games like that. I go to best compatibility. You're going to need a decent computer. Then go back into advanced and turn on turbo floppy. That'll increase the CD-ROM drive speed, the virtual drive speed, which, trust me, you want that. Everything else is pretty good as is. We'll just hit OK. And we'll start the interface. And I tell you what, when we first saw this, it was just simply incredible, this intro. I thought, this is it. This is the future. Commodore finally figured out what to do with the Amiga architecture and made the CD32, and it's the world's first 32-bit game console. It's crazy. And I thought this was it. So as you can see, the interface is cool. It has the little orchestral music start. It's fantastic. So what we're going to do here real quick is hold escape for a moment, get the mouse pointer back. And we're going to go in here and map a few things. We're going to take port 0 and turn it into the mouse. Port 1, CD32 controller, and then I'm going to map that to my Xbox One controller. Next up, I stuck an audio CD in. This will probably get me my video tagged for copyright infringement. But I'm going to use physical drive G. This is an actual audio CD. It's a mix of 80s remix stuff. But check out this interface. You stick this disc in, and, it goes to this. And we saw this and it was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And you got to understand the time frame. This was freaking amazing. You see this on your TV. It's unreal. So we're going to skip ahead a couple of songs and then hit the old le bouton. Oh, wait a minute. Oops. I actually have to click in here first. Dang it. There we go. Sorry about that. Why is my controller going nuts now? All right, and then we'll start some playback. I mean, don't tell me that's not the coolest thing ever. I mean, watch this. You're skipping around. I don't know why it's double entering. I think turbo's on or something. We'll just put it on random mode. But look at that. Isn't that just the coolest thing ever to see this CD thing? Like, nuts, right? And this does not only audio CDs, but also CD plus G. And if I would haul my lazy ass out to the shed, I could get one for you and show you. Maybe if people like this video enough, I'll show you what CDG looked like on here. Or maybe there's already one on YouTube. Who knows? But then we'll go ahead and release the disc. It'll go back to the it'll probably go back to the interface. Yeah. All right. And let's go ahead and mount an image. This is a 201 CD-ROM release. This will just get me to show you some games quicker. This is really neat. It's neat that you can do this sort of thing with this old hardware and these virtual machines. By the way, that little flicker you saw up here, you can rewind the video if you want. That little arrow flicker is indicative of the programming language Amos, which a lot of people made fun of, but I made some product in it, and Scorched Tanks, which was one of the greatest Amiga games of all time, was made in it. So all good. So let's see, what else can I tell you about the CD32? It was really an Amiga 1200 with a CD-ROM attached to it and put into an arcade, or I'm sorry, a console type shell. And I don't know why this is taking quite as long as it is, because it shouldn't be. Not with the turbo floppy on. Now, normally there would be one game per disc, and usually the entire disc would be wasted, and the game itself would be like 4 megabytes in size, leaving the other 696 empty. All right, well, that's the cool part of having a virtual machine, right? If something doesn't feel right, you can shut it off. Let's go back in here and take another look. Advanced. Oh, Turbo Floppy is definitely on. All right, well, let's go again. Now, these things are preset. I could go in and fix them so that they do this automatically all the time, but for the purposes of the video, I wasn't going to invest that much time in there. Mount. Yeah, we thought Commodore had it figured out. Now, the CD32 also had some other cool features, including an expansion port on the back. Actually, was inside the unit where you could actually slide a little brick in there, and the brick itself could be like an expansion pack in offering more computer features to the CD32, like a little plug-in box. The SX32, the SX or the CD32SX. There's a couple of different ones. I had the SX1. I still do have one. And it essentially turned the CD32 into an Amiga 1200 with a CD-ROM drive, plus you could put fast memory in there and all sorts of stuff. But one of the more interesting facts about CD32 was that just before Philips released the CDI player, that was their version of the set-top gaming video home entertainment center box that played VCDs, MPEG videos, right? That was considered like on the cusp, the cutting edge. And in order to get MPEG playback back then, of course, you had to have a license, and Philips had the license to play MPEG. Well, Commodore's engineers reverse engineered the CDI full motion video cartridge and created their own full motion video cartridge. And the Amiga CD32 shipped an expansion cartridge that would allow you to play VCDs, video CDs, they were also known as. I've got a couple of them sitting around. They were MPEG-1, primitive by today's standards, but you could literally have a movie on a disc. It was absolutely insane. It was fantastic. So, and again, I am not sure what is making this thing run so slow. The mouse isn't even picked up. It's very strange. I'll take one more shot at this thing. I was using this thing earlier. I don't know what its problem is. But you know you want to see it now. Oh, there we go. Commodore machines, not without their quirks. That's for sure. So quirky, in fact. Oh, there we go. All right, so now, obviously, this was not the original Amiga CD32 menu. You would stick a game in and you get to play one game, but this is a mega disc filled with stuff. And just to kind of show you sort of the depth and breadth of this amazing machine, get everything from, Out of This World or Another World, which people are still playing now on mobile devices and things of that nature. This thing will even give you a preview of the game. Even Dragon's Lair, they actually had a working solution for Dragon's Lair. It came on like 900 floppies, but considering this was a home computer that you could play Dragon's Lair on at the time, it was frickin' amazing. Things like Prince of Persia, games that you've heard of course. Fantastic. Shadow of the Beast, which of course is even now heralded as one of the greats. Obviously, since there's 3 arcade platforms, it's a popular category. But you might recognize a ton of these things. Bubba and Sticks, a lot of these things got Sega CD or Sega ports and Sega CD ports. But many of them started right here. Amazing games like Chaos Engine, Fire and Ice, simply gorgeous, some of these games. Look at that. Gianna Sisters, the Mario ripoff. Gods, look at this. Amazing looking games. that they came out with. All right, to go to this one. Let's see. No. Let's see. Is there anything here that just like jumps out and says like Parasol Stars? That was on consoles. Rainbow Islands. James Pond, of course, had a following overseas. You know, the Amiga got great arcade ports like Rampage. They had RoboCop games for this thing. Let's see, what else was there? Super Frog, still one of my favorite platformers. Zool, that came out on Sega, I believe. Sega Genesis. Super Methane Brothers. Sorry, same one. You know, we had greats like Barbarian 2, Golden Axe, right? Golden Axe on the Amiga was fantastic. Look at that. Looks like the arcade game. Mortal Kombat, we even got a port of that, which I can't believe. That was thanks to Sega Genesis, by the way. It was apparently pretty easy to port in between the two. And, of course, Ultimate Body Blows, which was, in my opinion, the definitive beat-em-up game on the Amiga. Fantastic. Miscellany. Good old Archon. Defender of the Crown. Like one of the first games that just literally knocked me off my feet. I could not frickin' believe a computer could do that. The Amazing Pinball Series, Pinball Fantasies, Pinball Illusions. Man, Volfied. God, I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I put in this game. We'll probably play that one for a little bit. Puzzles, what's in here? A lot of stuff you've never heard of. Of course, Lemmings, right? Absolutely fantastic stuff. Populous. Let's see. Oh, that's one I was just in, sorry. Racing. The Amiga had some great racing games, man. Let's see. Lotus Turbo, of course, is one of the great, all-time greats. Simply fantastic. Two-player split screen. Who'd have thunk it? Nitro. Great game, written by a friend of mine, by the way. Published by Psygnosis. Let's see. Roadkill, of course. We're going to play some of that, because that's one of my favorite racing games. Super, let's see, Stunt, which one was it? Super Hang? Oh, no, Super Off-Road. Look at this thing. It looks just like the arcade game. Remember that game? It's unbelievable. The things they had on here. Now, not all of these were, of course, native to the Commodore Amiga CD32, but they're Amiga titles. Of course, shoot 'em ups have two. And look at that Afterburner. That's unbelievable. Agony, fantastic looking Flying Owl, Alien Breed, Banshee. Banshee was an amazing epic shooter. Cannon Fodder, I love that game. Of course, Deluxe Galaga. We'll probably have to play a little of that. I hope it's the good version. Desert Strike. Man, I would kill to have a good Desert Strike port. Empire Strikes Back. These reduced screenshots, they don't do these games any justice. I'll go into a couple of them. Shmups 2. Of course, Space Harrier looked amazing. Super Stardust. Man, what a great game. I still love that game. Turrican 2. My God, how many hours I put into Turrican 2. It's unbelievable. And yes, believe it or not, Amiga did get a version of Wing Commander. Wings, fantastic game. Played the crap out of that. Okay, I already did both of those. Sports. Not a whole lot going on in here. Of course, we got the standard leaderboard golf. And Sensible Soccer, of course, was a big thing because Speedball 2 Brutal Deluxe, of course, was the game to play with your friends. And these are animations. No video of mine would be complete without listening to the dogs bark. That's fantastic. A lot of these, of course, the Great Juggler animation. What else in here is like totally impressive? Nothing else that you just would have to see. Of course, no collection would be complete without a set of mega demos. You know, a lot of people don't know what these mega demo things are all about. These guys, instead of programming games, they spent their time trying to push every single ounce of the computer into the smallest possible demo, the smallest possible footprint, and really, really go at each other with trying to come up with the greatest possible things. I'd be surprised if like State of the Art wasn't on here. That's too bad. But you can look at those on other videos. Simpsons demo. I don't remember some of these. ASCII Mania. I don't know what the setup and info is. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Single speed. Alright, nice. So let's see. Am I what speed am I on now? Double. Nice. CPU cache, blah blah blah. All these things that people had to do to make games work on the Amiga. Alright, well, let's take a look at some of these, huh? I told you Dragon's Lair was amazing, so let's look at that real quick. Of course, we don't have time to look at all of these, but I remember this game. Like I said, it came on 10 floppy disks, and man, so this was actually that's interesting. This is Escape from Singe's Castle. I must have Dragon's Lair 2. Well, you can take a look at it anyway. Remember what the hell I'm doing. This might be a combined version. The moves are accurate. Come on, it doesn't seem amazing, but trust me, it is. What are they going to do, make me do the reverse now? Of course. Standard Dragon's Lair fare. Get everything in reverse. Oops, screwed up. Nice. Well, of course. That's what happens when you screw up in Dragon's Lair. You die. Alright, so I don't know if they provided a means of escaping these games. I'm sure they did. But in our case, we can just hit reset. Like I said, there's power. Let's see, what else can I tell you about the CD32? It came with sort of a revolutionary controller. The D-pad totally blew, but it was a lot like a Sega 6-button controller. I have them out in the shed. Again, I have everything out in the shed, apparently. And it actually had a standard 9-pin DIN plug, similar to the Atari 2600 or Commodore 64. And the port would take a controller. It would even take a Sega controller. But the ports were finicky, just like all the controller ports on Commodore Amigas. Tended to blow out if you plugged or unplugged it while it was powered on. You got a little static charge in there. Life would not be good for you. Yeah, the full motion video cartridge. I got an interesting story about that for those of you who never heard it while this menu's booting up. The full motion video cartridge was a very limited release. In fact, there was only, I think, about 13,000 of them made, which sounds like a big number, but it's really not. And I managed to get my hands on one. These things are rare as hen's teeth. If you could find one, it'll be $500, $600, $700, maybe even $1,000 by now. They're so hard to find. They're almost impossible. And I did have one. And when I had to file bankruptcy out of getting out of the military, I had to get rid of it. You know what I could do while the silly thing's loading between rounds? I could show you cool stuff. Okay, so maybe it wasn't the greatest controller of all time, but that's sort of a look at the CD32 controller. Pretty whack, huh? Let's see. This is the Competition Pro controller, which was by and large... hang on a second here. I don't know why this thing is being so freaking slow to load. Here's the Competition Pro controller. Much better. Auto, fire, the whole bit. And as you can see, if you look carefully on the buttons there, if you look carefully on the buttons, you can see that it had playback controls like stop, play, repeat, shuffle. Those were for the audio playback. Let's see, CD32 FMV cart. Like I said, I'd be surprised if you can even see one. Oh yeah, there you go. So here is what the cartridge looked like. And like I said, you'll be lucky if you ever actually see one in person, which you probably won't. And yeah, so let's see. Somebody cut their CD32 apart. Here is one of the expansion things that I was telling you about. This actually has, look at that, it's got video out and parallel port, basically everything a computer person might need. It was pretty damn cool. Let's see. And then, of course, the CD32 itself in all of its glory. The door was fragile. It had a big reset button. It did have a headphone jack, which was kind of cool at the time. Something sort of out of line. And I think that this disc just sometimes just doesn't boot. I don't know if that's the emulation problem or if it's the disc image itself, but we'll fire it up again. Yeah, this is interesting. I always wanted one of these. This is a this is the Pro module. This is the Pro module that sort of, it went underneath it. It was sort of a stacked Sega thing. Nutty. Maybe I can speed this thing. Maybe it's something hanging in the background. I got to click for it or something. I don't know. Let's see. Didn't sell a lot. I think there was maybe 80,000 units total that ran. Maybe, if that. Something of that nature, of the CD32s. When Commodore decided to ditch them, they actually sold a bunch of them to a Canadian bank system, and they were using it for online banking, set-top box online banking. They gutted the CD drive off of it, I think, and some other stuff, and it was basically a plain box. There's probably pictures of that kicking around somewhere. I don't know why this thing just likes to sit here and hang. Just having a good time with this, too. What if I just close it completely? Maybe that's what it needs. Pain in the butt. Remount that image. What else can I show you? It was cool. Yeah. Commodore, in their infinite wisdom, decided to be funny, and they rented a billboard outside of Sega's headquarters. It's a good story. They bought the thing for some ungodly amount of time, like 30 years or something. They probably still own it, but they took it. They took this billboard out and put a CD32 ad on it. Absolutely crazy. It's good stuff, though. One of the great lores of CD32. Once again, this thing's just being a pill. Oh, wait a minute. Of course, it did this last time, so would have been easier to just actually pull out the game discs, I think. Maybe we'll do that next time if this continues to be a pain. Oh, man. Had good times with that thing. Alright, this thing was booting a heck ton faster before. Let's see, port 0. Let's change this while we're here. Mouse, CD32 pad, 20. Yeah, so you can kind of see some of the underbellies of this stuff. I didn't change that much. wonder if it's the fact that that CD's in the drive. Maybe I didn't have that in there before. Let me take that out. Maybe it's somehow confusing the thing. Oh, I feel stupid if that was it. Nah, who knew? Probably not, though. Let's let the system boot up, and then we'll do it again. These discs are all hacked together anyway. I'm surprised it works at all. Yeah, see, now the CD's blinking. Well, there you have it. Probably be right up now. It's at some actual games. Or not. Yeah, there was the CD32 had a developer's kit. It was expensive. I think Commodore, and again in their infinite wisdom, instead of trying to help developers, small indie type developers, which is all the Amiga people back at that time, instead of trying to help them out and making the development kits accessible and easy to use and things of that nature and stature, they decided they'd be funny and require 50 grand, if I remember right. Maybe it was 25 grand. It was some astronomical number that pretty much outpaced anybody other than the big houses that could do it, that could afford it, which is too bad. You think maybe I corrupted that disk image somehow, but I don't understand. It's a disk image. This is a virtual machine. Come on, people. Let's go. I just have to drag my discs in here and we'll use them for real. Well, let's try one more thing. Let's actually close Amiga Forever. Maybe it had a problem. I still love that. I used to just boot the CD32 just to see that. It's like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And it was. People are spoiled with technology these days. Don't know what it was like to deal with single spin CD drives like this and waiting for things to boot. Oh, look at that. So, for future reference, we actually close Amiga Forever sometimes. Alright, so let me find something cool here. Take a look at Banshee, man. This was such a great game. I mean, look at the scores across the board. Everybody just loved that game. And it's great. I mean, it's AGA, so it's, you know, lots of colors, so many colors. Yes, I'd like to do this in Deutsch. Alright. Ah, what a game. Yeah, there were a couple of companies. Core, Psygnosis, of course Team 17. Who else was there? There's a ton of different companies that just made phenomenal games. Push things to the core. No pun intended. And look at that. This is a 16-bit computer doing this, man. Going, yeah, whatever. Frickin' amazing. Oops, that's the loop button, I guess, huh? Okay, they can't all be the loop button. Oh. That's interesting. I think maybe I need to change... Oh, wait a minute. Let's see what's going on here. That was very strange. I think it went to some sort of auto mode. Come on. I didn't want to stage any of this stuff. I just wanted to show it to you. Yes, we know that's a loop. That apparently is also the loop. Maybe I don't have this thing configured right. Hang on a second. Let me just emulate it as a standard joystick. There we go. That's good stuff, right? I mean, look at this. Of course, what would the game be without power-ups? Power-ups you can shift. Yeah, okay, so it's technically a clone of every other shoot-'em-up game. How great is that? It looks fantastic. So how do you... Oh, damn it. We're back in this loop thing again. I don't know. Sometimes I think the emulator takes a weird dump. I don't know what's going on. It looks fantastic, does it not? There's something else you could do in here. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can set this back to... set it to a gamepad and see what that does. Oh, great. Maybe it was in rapid succession. I don't know what... oh, that's the pause. Okay, good. Now we're getting somewhere. That's loop again. Or maybe we're not. There was something else you could do, I thought. I don't remember. Anyway, looks pretty good, though, right? Good stuff. I guess that takes me back to the menu, I suppose, maybe. No? All right. What else can I show you? And so you're probably thinking, well, if these weren't actual, you know, CD32 games, how was I playing them? Well, I had one of those expansion boxes, and I had a 2.5-inch hard drive in there. Yes, hard drive. And lots of memory, and a keyboard, and a mouse plugged into it, and I had a CD-based Amiga computer. It was really cool. All right, good. This is a lot quicker. I should have just done this before. Let's see. Yes, I love Super Frog. Super Frog, Team 17, they also did Super Stardust and a bunch of other just like phenomenal titles. They're still around. They do games like Worms now. I think they're still using that Empire. Alien Breed, right? That's another big title of theirs. So, yeah, love me some Super Frog. This is actually available on mobile devices now. This is great. The controls are a little floaty. A lot of people say, "Oh, the controls are super floaty," which they are a little bit. I won't lie. You get used to them though. It's pretty much everything you would want from your standard knockoff. I mean, everything has been stolen from in this game, and for once, that's not a bad thing. Speed ups. There's hidden crap everywhere. See if I can find something interesting to show you. Lucasade. Springboards, right? Hidden stuff you can get to. Wings. So now I can fly. Oh, and I got myself a minion. Oops, I didn't jump. Oh, crap. That's where the floaty controls get you in trouble. Dang it. Don't have these keys quite mapped out here. All right, there we go. All right. More minions. Oops. Okay, I can throw my minion. I'm pretty sure there's... So you can see that flooring is slightly discolored. So there's your typical hidden area bit. And back we go. Minions, of course, you can use to kill these things. The bees. If you can actually see them. Hang on. I missed my wings. Oh, crap. You see that disgusting, filthy little bird. This was something that was kind of cool, too. And, you know, they went the extra distance. You can kill this bee. Notice that the tree's eyes follow you? It's little things like that that differentiate, you know, the real solemn developers for the platform. Oh, more wings. Sweet. Get myself another minion. Your springboard to coins. Standard routine. Is there a hidden spot here? I forget. No. Been a long time since I played. And of course, once you have enough coins, you can use the exit. And this is the thing that I always thought was great, is you could gamble and use the fruit machine. Games of high and low. You could actually get codes that let you open up other spots of the game sooner. Of course, I'm not going to get anything now. Filthy, filthy, filthy girl. Oh, crap. I had a hold. Damn it. There we go. So now now I'm going to gamble, right, to see if I can go a little higher. Denied. All right, well, get one more shot at it. And the worlds are incredible, and up there at the top, there's a space world that opens up. It's a hidden level. The game's fantastic. The levels are well designed. There's plenty of stuff to find. There's hidden areas with coins, you know, hidden that you can't see. It's all cool. It's good stuff. Easily, that's interesting. I wonder if that's going to take me back to the menu. I think it is. I guess some games have an escape cut into them. That's cool. I guess if I read that setup and what's on this disc thing, I'd probably find out more. But, you know, why belabor the obvious? Yeah, because you don't want to... I mean, it'd be pretty easy to just hit the reset button on the CD32, but if this will, you know, help the load time, that'd be great. It's not looking like it's helping too much at this point. If maybe not at all. Yeah, that's the thing about these multi-discs, you know, they patch in hacks and all this other stuff, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. In this case, I'm guessing don't. It's almost my bedtime. Time for us old folks to go to bed. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, Super Stardust. Man, gorgeous. This is essentially Blastroids on steroids. That was sort of the rendered rock version of Asteroids. But this thing's got so much more. It's got one of the most incredible effects I ever saw at the time. This game had a Predator effect. Maybe I'll play long enough to show it to you. This game deserves a lot more love than it got. And of course, you know, House Marmalade or whatever, Marble Duke, whatever the hell they're called now. They're doing Stardust and stuff for Sony platforms. I know we have no sound here, but that's okay. Maybe I better take a look at this. Oh, crap. Oh, jeez. Fire. Oh, say fire. Fire. Thrust. No thrust. 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 Shield. Left. Right. Selector. No. Selector. No. No. That's not going to work out. I don't think this is fully mapping things right. I think there's a problem here. Let me see. Oh. Well, there you go. Let's try this one more time. Fire. Thrust. Shield. Left, right. Selector. Pause. Break. That'll do. All right, cool. That must have been CD audio music in the background. So as you can see, it'll tell you that there's a fire spiller there, possible weapon transport, predator. All right, let's see. I don't know why there's no audio here. Oh, the soundtrack is gone. Weak. Yeah, it was all CD audio, so it's been stripped from the game. What a disappointment. So anyway, outside of it being, of course, straight up asteroids, you know, it's like, okay, so what's the big deal? It's all cool and rendered and all that stuff. Oops, but you do have a shield here. You just got to remember to use it. Oops. All right, so now I got a 3-way power-up. The game is loaded with all sorts of goodies, but you got to see this predator effect. It's such an amazing thing. I probably could have done these differently. Yeah, I chose poorly on my configuration. Little bonus there. But it's missing a lot without the music. I didn't realize just how much that added to it. Damn it. I got to get to Senior Predator. Oh. Points? No. I require power. There we are. Okay, here he comes, I think. Oh, come on. I really chose... Oh, there you see him? Isn't that a cool predator effect? I mean, that's even cool now. And there he is to kick your ass. Amiga games were not easy. All right, well, you got to see the predator effect. Anyway, it's a lot better when I have the right controls and the background music is playing. All right, well, let's see. Maybe I can... Okay, I guess that only works in some of them, huh? All right. How much time we got here? We got a couple minutes. We can look at a couple more things. At least I got to tell some stories during the downtimes. Quite a unique machine. I mean, considering it was bits and pieces of other machines, but there was definitely a spirit involved into it. Things really don't have that anymore. They don't have that kind of soul. I think the Dreamcast kind of had some soul, right? It's funny. Big old box that sat on your desk. I can see we're back to where the emulator is becoming largely unstable. Let's run this again. Just do this from now on. Just kill it. Run it. Definitely seems to make a difference. Maybe I should report that. Get my mouse back. You know, it's funny, you know, I've got... You think of all of the hardware required to make this thing work, and it's sitting... Oh! Yeah, this is cool. This is the Save Game Manager. So it had non-volatile flash memory, where you could actually store saved games. And so when you're on that main menu, you could hit one of the CD32 buttons, and it would take you to one of those screens. Can't remember what this one was. Each of the colored buttons on the controller took you to a different place. One would boot to the CD, one would go to non-volatile memory, and I thought there was one more. Maybe the CD player, the audio CD player, yeah. It's quite a machine. Man, I'm going to have to bust out my CDs now. You guys got to see these things in their original Klingon. Let's see. Yeah, let's look at Turrican, man. Turrican was so great. And I know this came out on Sega, Genesis, or Mega Drive, depending on what country you're from. But these guys, this is Rainbow 5, by the way, which went on to do Rogue Squadron games. These guys, top-notch developers, man. But if you've played Rogue Squadron on GameCube or anything like that, then you know these guys are just top frickin' notch. And this game was no exception. This one actually made use of extra controller buttons, which was not something that was common. I'm sorry, Rainbow Arts, not Rainbow 5. I don't know where I got Rainbow 5 from. It's been a while. Factor 5. There you go. I knew it was from somewhere. So great. I thought that was amazing. Alright. Oops. Already wasted something. So you have your standard jump. Oops. Oh, there we go. This course had stuff in it. That's what I wanted. I don't know why up does not seem to want to play nicely. There we go. Oops. Great effects. And let's see, there was another one where you could get yourself into a little ball. I wonder, is it one of these buttons? There we go. So you couldn't control much, but you were pretty much invincible when you're this little ball-looking thing. Yeah, must have changed weapons somewhere along the way. Let's see here. Oh, well, screw it, let's kill everything. I mean, look at that. They didn't have to make it do that, but how cool is it that they did? I'm going to end up dead. Crap. Let's bounce. All cool weapon. Damn it. Good tune and everything. No. Crap. You get the idea. Amazing stuff. See if we get a quick reset out of this thing. The dogs are losing their mind. They want to go to bed. I think we're out of luck on this one. All right, one more. Come on. I did that. Yeah, Gunship was out on this thing. They had the greatest thing. It was called Video Creator. I'll bring the discs in, and we'll do this right. But this will be a nice little precursor. It was cool. It basically made like dance club videos. You just fed it a music CD, and it would do the rest for you. You just hit like randomly generate. You could do it yourself, right? You could make this complex spinning cubes and faces opening up and all that stuff. Let's see. What are we going to end this thing with? Gianna Sisters. That Chaos Engine was really good. Ah, heck. Let's look at Golden Axe. Let's look at an arcade port so you guys have some comparison that can be done. And again, it's a Sega game, right? It's probably a straight port from the Genesis or vice versa or both created at the same time. Virgin Games, yeah. Probe. They did a lot of the Sega Genesis ports too. Pretty good, right? I remember it quite being that slow. Always play the chicks, man. I'm telling you, they always give the chicks extra powers. Oop, well, I don't know which jump is. I guess it's up. Oh, how did I do that? Yeah. Think of that, huh? Yeah. Suck it. Getting my groove on now. Give me my little blue guy. There he is. Turd. Give it up. Give me that. No. Dill hole. Alright, well. Maybe I don't have my groove on as much as I thought. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, off you go. Yeah, you like that, huh? Scorpions on the other foot. Thought I could jump up there. I got robbed. I must not be doing something right to get up there. Maybe you have to do it on foot. Yeah. You guys get the idea. All right, well, hope you enjoyed the tour through the CD32. Like I said, I'll get some real games together and we'll do it. If you want to see more of this stuff, like it, give me some comments, whatever you want to do. This is Shane R. Monroe, Retro Gaming Radio, Passenger Seat Radio, Dual Screen Radio, all these radios. Thanks for watching.